Hi, I'm Joel Bloom, president of New Jersey Institute of Technology. At NJIT, we believe that not only our students, but all citizens need to be informed about the issues facing higher education. As New Jersey's Science and Technology University, NJIT is proud to support the important programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology, Holy Name Medical Center in Teaneck, New Jersey. Healing begins here. QualCare Inc., a managed care company administrating health plans that care about your health care. New Jersey Sharing Network, dedicated to saving lives through organ and tissue donation. The Russell Berry Foundation, Suez, ready for the resource revolution. And by NJM Insurance Group.
This is One-on-One.
I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
I don't care how good you are or how good you think you are, there is always something to learn.
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Give me adventure, I'm a contender and more. I will show I'm not just the sponge next door. I'm gonna find a better way, a way to save the life I love. I am not a simple sponge.
That guy's good. That is Ethan Slater, SpongeBob SquarePants, the Broadway musical playing at the Palace Theater, 47th and Broadway, and you are SpongeBob.
Yes, I am, yeah.
This your Broadway debut?
I know.
How exciting.
It's a dream come true. It's sort of the dream I never knew I had to play SpongeBob on Broadway, but it's been everything you could imagine and way more.
By the way, as we do this program around the holidays, 2017, it has just opened.
Yeah.
Describe it.
Totally surreal. We opened on Monday night. It was really electric.
This is Wednesday, by the way. It's only a couple days. But go ahead. No, I'm just saying, it's only been a couple days.
It's only been a couple days, yeah. I had yesterday to process. But, it was this unbelievable experience. I sort of naively didn't think opening night was going to feel that different from the month of previews that we had leading up to it, because every audience was so joyful and electric, and it's been incredible to perform it every night. And so I thought, this is going to be another great audience, and it's going to be a lot of friends and family, but it's going to feel like another show. And it did, but it also felt really monumental. This is something that I've wanted to do forever, and I got to do it with my best friends, and that was awesome.
It's so interesting. Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
The original, right? Cable. You were not around for that, right?
Well, I was a little kid when SpongeBob started.
But you were allowed to watch it?
We didn't actually have cable growing up, so I watched a lot of PBS in D.C.
In D.C.,
I grew up in Washington, D.C.
All right. You were watching PBS. I stepped on that line.
Yeah, I was. I was watching a lot of PBS.
WETA, right?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
We know these things.
That was awesome.
Well, it's required to know every station around the country.
I guess that makes sense.
But go ahead. But when did you get exposed to SpongeBob SquarePants?
Well, I would watch SpongeBob. I would watch Nickelodeon when I went to my grandma's house. I would watch it when I went to friends' houses after school. So actually, the experience that I most closely link to SpongeBob is in middle school. I would go over to my friend's house, and we were in a band. And the first thing we would do is we would eat snacks after school while watching SpongeBob, and then we would go play music. So I link it really closely with that. And since then, I watched it a lot in college, actually, because it really resonates as a college student, too. Mm. And that's one of the great things about the TV show, but also about the musical that we found in interacting with the audience is that, yes, it's on Nickelodeon, and yes, kids are going to love it, and it's great for kids, but it actually really touches and reaches a very wide audience, and a majority of the people that I've been talking to after the show have been in their 20s and 30s and
some of us
beyond.
are older.
Yeah,
and in
beyond.
fact, to just share this, I was just telling Ethan that we're our family and a few other families, adults and kids, are actually going to come see the show in just a couple of days, and we're looking forward to it. But I'm curious as to how the kids react versus adults who just loved it when it was on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
You engage with your audience in a certain way. I'm struck by that. Your connection to your audience. Where does it come from? Your ability to connect.
Yeah.
There's some great actors who don't have that ability, but they're just great actors. You seem to connect. What is that?
Well, I don't know that I can totally explain it. There's just a great energy, especially at the Palace. I feel very close to the audience. But you know, the show is funny. If I do say so myself, I think it's a funny show. So there's a lot of reaction from the audience. There's a lot of laughter.
Is it double entendre? A lot of double entendre,
There's
if you
definitely
will.
some of it, absolutely. There's a lot of physical comedy. I like to say that it sort of harkens back to the early 20th century physical comedians, and I watched a lot of Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin,
right.
Abbott and Costello, you know, Laurel and Hardy. When
Influenced by that.
Influenced by that, absolutely. And I watched a lot of it, as did, you know, Danny Skinner, who plays Patrick, my C-star best friend.
By the way, can you talk about some of the other... You have a few names connected, particularly on the musical side, so I've heard.
The musical composers are unbelievable.
Talk about them.
There's a song, original songs written by John Legend, Aerosmith, The Plain White Tees, Panic at the Disco, Cyndi Lauper.
What's the matter? Couldn't get any big stars?
Yeah, exactly.
You got huge
At
stars.
the bottom of the barrel, these guys. No,
What's it
they're
like with them?
unbelievable. It's been, I mean, getting to sing songs by your heroes. It's really special. They all wrote songs that work perfectly in the show, and they wrote it for specific moments. So it's not a jukebox musical in that it had to be adapted for the story. They wrote it for the story. So in that way, it's just like singing any other musical. You're looking for the truth behind the song and the motivations within it. But to know that I'm rocking out to a Cyndi Lauper song is every night. It's a dream come true.
You know, go back a little further. When you were auditioning for this role, describe that experience.
I originally auditioned for the untitled Tina Landau project. Tina Landau is the director, and they had not announced that this was going to be a SpongeBob musical. They actually didn't know whether it was going to be anything. There was no script. There was no music yet. Tina had pitched the show to Nickelodeon, and they were trying to figure out how they could put this on stage in a three-dimensional way with humans that brought something new, not only to SpongeBob, but to Broadway, something that was innovative.
You were in college.
I was in college. And
at Vassar?
At Vassar College, yeah, exactly. And I was actually just in the right place at the right time. I had applied for a summer apprenticeship program to do Shakespeare in Connecticut, in the town that one of my good friends lived in, and I was hoping to work on Romeo and Juliet. Yeah.
And you get SpongeBob.
And I get SpongeBob, right. I ended up being cast as Benvolio in Romeo and Juliet, and the casting director who was casting that show called me a week later and said, "We have a strange opportunity for you. I think you'll know what it is when you read the sides."
But it was an untitled project, and you guys couldn't tell anyone.
Exactly, couldn't tell anyone.
For a long time.
Yeah, for three plus years of working on the project.
Hold on 1 second. Before I let you out of here, your family, your closest friends, you couldn't tell them.
I couldn't tell my family, and my closest friends had no idea what I was working on.
Got it. But this must have been amazing for you.
It was unbelievable. The thing that's really been incredible about it is that every step of the way has felt in and of itself like a fulfilling creative experience. Each workshop has been an opportunity for me to learn, or was an opportunity for me to learn new skills.
You still will.
And I still will, absolutely. So it's been, each step of the way has been incredible. But when I look at it over the course of 5 years, I feel unbelievably grateful. It's like I got, my BA in SpongeBob, and now I'm getting my master's.
Ethan, you knew as a kid you wanted to do this.
Yeah.
You knew. What age do you think?
It's tough to say. I was really performative as a kid. I did shows when I was 5. I played Toto in The Wizard of Oz when my sister was Dorothy. But then the time that I really knew that I wanted to pursue it professionally was in high school. I was doing The Producers my junior year, and one of my best friends, his name is Noah Robbins, was playing Bialystock, and I was playing Bloom. He came back from a trip to New York on our dress rehearsal day and announced that he had booked a Broadway show. And he was going to be playing Eugene in Brighton Beach Memoirs.
Wow.
And that was sort of an eye-opening experience for me. We were from D.C. This doesn't happen. But my best friend, who I thought was, you know, the greatest actor I've ever met, turns out was the greatest actor I'd ever met. And I thought, well, maybe if I work half as hard as he does, I can make this happen.
Well, you're making it happen. And Ethan Slater is in SpongeBob SquarePants playing at the Palace Theater, 47th and Broadway. He is SpongeBob, and I look forward with our family to being there and seeing you and enjoying that experience with everyone else. And wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. I'm excited for you to see it.
You got it. Be right back right after this.
To watch more One-on-One with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
We're pleased to welcome Dan Mannarino, anchor, Pix 11 Morning News, every weekday morning, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., the pride of Woodridge, New Jersey. How you doing?
That's right. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. Honored to meet you as well.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yes.
Now, you've had an interesting career. As young as you are,
Yes.
You've been in this business from day one because you love it?
Because I love it. Actually, I went to college for pre-law. Yeah. It's funny how things work.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Manhattan College in Riverdale.
Okay.
And a journalist came to our class, spoke to us about journalism, and from there on, I had the journalism bug. I was like, okay, forget
What was
pre-law. It was the opportunity to hold people accountable in certain situations. It was the opportunity to reach out to communities that you were part of at one point and serve and bring a message of hope and positivity, but also to be, when that journalist came to us, it was about bringing members of the community in and getting them to be able to express their message that they can't get to a smaller audience. And it bit me, and here I am.
It's interesting, Pix, along with some of the other local stations, I mean, the morning news, morning television is so incredibly competitive. What do you think differentiates your operation?
I think morning television is a beast because you have to really encompass everything. Not only are you up at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is a struggle, and we're on the air starting at 4:30, but I think it is the opportunity to not only give people their local news, world news, but the opportunity to give someone something to smile about as they leave the door in the morning to go to their job, to go to school, wherever they're going. They want to be informed, but they also want to be happy.
Sure.
And they want to smile and be able to talk about something when they get to work. That is on us.
And your co-anchor is?
Betty Wynn.
Did you guys meet together first time? They say, let's try these two together. Is that how it worked?
You know, actually, when they paired us up, we had met for lunch. But that was it. We never had an on-air screen test. It was, look at us there. We were actually hosting the Veterans Day Parade along Fifth Avenue. And so June 20th was our first day on the air, and that was our first day sitting next to one another.
What
And
did you sense immediately?
I sensed her, she was genuine, she was funny, but she was smart. She was incredibly well-read, which is something that I think we needed and were able to bring to our viewers.
So interesting. Do you consider yourself someone, earlier today we had Chris Cuomo, Chris Matthews, and we have some other major journalists on as well, on the national side as well. Investigative reporters like Matt Taibbi was here as well.
Oh, yeah.
How do you see yourself in the media landscape? How would you describe yourself?
It's interesting. I was actually talking with some of the other journalists that you had on your show downstairs. It's an interesting aspect to have this role, to hold politicians, people in authority accountable. It doesn't make you a favorite all the time. And that's something that you have to juggle. Because in morning television...
Aren't you supposed to be popular?
Well, to your audience, yes. But to the people that you're interviewing, not necessarily. I think when you hold a politician accountable, you are not going to be favored by that politician.
And you don't care?
In a way, no. But then they blackball you from coming on their show.
And then you don't have access.
And then you don't have access. So it's a delicate
people don't
balance.
get that.
And
for those who know us on the Jersey side, let's just say this. There have been governors of the state whom I've interviewed, and let's just say in the course of doing my job, not to make this about me, it's about anyone who does what we do, they're like, I'm not coming back.
Right.
Now you can't get that governor, you can't get the United States Senator, you can't get that person because they're like, I'm not doing that. So the question is, how do we balance
And it's a delicate balance. It's a delicate dance that you have to approach every single day. How I like to do it is reach out to the viewers. So if we know a politician's coming on, I won't name any names, but I'll reach out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, say, what are your questions? And then pose that it's actually coming from the constituents that put them in office. So then it's not on me. You don't have to dislike me. But
Hey, it's not me. There are other people who want to know.
There are people who want to know.
The other part about you that I find fascinating is your charitable work. Talk about it.
Yeah, I'm a Catholic schoolboy. I grew up in Catholic schools, and for part of your high school career.
You went to Catholic school in Bergen County?
I did, North Arlington, New Jersey.
Don't say you went to Bergen Catholic.
No, I went to Queen of Peace.
Queen of Peace, okay.
Yes.
Which isn't, okay.
It actually shut down, but it was, when I was open, it was a Blue Ribbon School of Excellence.
Essex Catholic High School, shut down.
It's incredible how all these schools are shutting down.
That's another show, but
yes.
We're Catholic school kids.
But you have to have service hours.
We did not graduate in the same class, just want to clarify.
What
are you laughing? Don't laugh too hard. Good, what do you got?
You had to have community service hours.
I had the Christian Brothers who ran my school.
Yes, and we had the Jesuits, and we had to perform 14 to 16 hours of community service every semester. And for one of those opportunities was Camp New Day. And that was
New Day
for special needs community, for adults who have Down syndrome, autism, on the spectrum, whatever it is. They needed volunteers. And it was an opportunity to say, you know what, let me go do these service hours, knock it out in a couple of days, and I'm done. And 16 years later,
did you get hooked?
I'm still part of the organization.
What hooked you?
I mean, look at that smile. This is somebody, that's Carolyn. She is amazing. And what people, I think, don't realize is these are people who can hold jobs, who can make you smile and give you something that gives you that element of hope to go about in your day, but it also keeps me extremely grounded. And from there, I realized not only did Camp New Day need funding, but there are special needs organizations throughout the country that need funding. And so my friends and I figured a way to do that. We founded an organization called the Circle Up Foundation.
The Circle Up Foundation.
Circle Up Foundation. And the reason we did that is because every night before we went to bed at Camp New Day, everybody would circle up, sing a song, and go to bed. And that's how we came up with the name.
How important is it to you to make a difference, not just as a journalist, but as a citizen of this community?
Extremely important. I think that's what keeps me going every single day. The job is one thing, but when you can reach out to members of your community and see the impact that you're making, that is what makes everything else seem like it's nothing.
Journalism today, with the obsession around digital, handheld, got to get it this way, how has it changed what you do, if at all?
You're no longer just reading the news. You are tweeting, you are Facebooking the news as you're on the air. Because some people are waking up and they're looking at their phone first. They say, oh, Dan just tweeted this. Let me turn on Channel 11 and see what else he has to say. So I think that it's a reach that you have to realize.
You have to be engaged all the time.
All the time, even when you're on the air. It's a live show and you're still going about it, trying to get people to tune in.
And people are also tweeting you. I've seen some stuff of you on Twitter. People are tweeting you about things that they're seeing, things that they're reacting to. You have to be very quick.
Well, they're also our eyes and ears. If somebody tweets something out first and tells me, hey, there's this going on over at Grand Central Station, I alert everybody else, the whole team. They're also journalists now. Everyone is involved.
I want to plug a colleague again. Your co-anchor is?
Betty Wynn.
Betty Wynn and Dan Mannarino. Pix 11 Morning News, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you very much.
The pride of Jersey.
That's right.
We'll be right back right after this.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We are honored to be joined by this young man. He is Shakur Stevenson, professional boxer and 2016 Olympic silver medalist. How you doing, young man?
I'm straight.
You are. In fact, we are up in Lincoln Center. In a couple of days, you'll be fighting down at, what's that place called?
Madison Square Garden.
The Mecca.
Yeah.
What's it like fighting at the Garden?
My second pro fight, it was amazing. I fought in a big part, so it was like I had a lot of people there, and a lot of people from Newark came over to support me, so my walkout was amazing, the fight was amazing, and I think that was my favorite fight out of all my fights.
You know, coming from Newark, both of us come from Brick City. On one end of the city, you're on the other, right? I was born in the North Ward, you're from the Central Ward of the city. Where you grew up, describe for a second when you knew boxing would be your professional life. Was it in the boys' club at all?
Nah, it was my first time going overseas. I had went overseas. I was a number 2 guy, and everybody on the team was number 1s. And my kid that was a number 1, he couldn't go because he didn't have like a passport. So they sent me, and I was like the replacement. But everybody else that was number 1s, they all lost, and I won every day.
Well, hold on a second. But I'm talking about, go back. Is it true that when you were 5, about 5, you got into boxing?
Yeah.
What drew you to boxing?
My grandfather, he was like a minor league, like little league type baseball player, like recreational baseball. So, and he was a boxing coach, and he had brought some of his fighters to the baseball game, and I had got the chance to meet them. And once I met them, it was just amazing to me that they were boxers, and I just wanted to see them train and see about boxing. And next day, I asked him to take me to the gym. He took me to the gym.
You were hooked.
Yeah, I fell in love.
Andre Ward. I say Andre Ward. You say, you got a big smile. I say Andre Ward. Tell everyone who Andre Ward is.
Andre Ward is my idol, my favorite fighter, and my manager now. But I look at him like a superhero.
A mentor to you.
Yes.
The boxing profession, right? Some of us who love boxing, and I also tell you, I enjoy mixed martial arts as well, UFC, right? You don't, I can tell. You know, there's a lot of competition between the two. But you also were intrigued by Conor McGregor, who had an iconic fight with
Floyd Mayweather.
The great, undefeated Floyd Mayweather. Some who say, you know, it's barbaric. It's just too dangerous. You look at what happens to people who box, you say? What do you say to that?
I can agree with, because I probably have the same opinion if I never boxed before, or if I didn't start as early as I did. So, but me being that I started early and I know what I'm capable of, and I watched Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, and how defensive they was in their careers, and
hard to hit.
Yeah, and learning from fighters like that, I know I could end up in one of their positions one day also. So.
You know, the Olympic experience you had, describe it, 2016.
It was an amazing experience for me. I'm glad God put me in that position to be in that type of environment and compete on that type of level.
How much pressure?
It was a tremendous amount of pressure.
Oh, come on, look at this.
It was
look at that, talk about a smile. Pressure, but what?
Pressure, bust pipes or make diamonds, and I always say that I've been a diamond my whole career, and I'm not going to stop being a diamond anytime soon.
What do you mean by that?
I always been a shining star. I always knew that what I was capable of. I always knew that I was a winner, and once I got on the big stage, I was going to perform, and I know that I'm going to do that every time, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Where's your confidence come from?
I think it came from living in the house with 8 other brothers and sisters.
Where'd you fit in?
I was the oldest.
You're the oldest?
Yes.
8?
Oldest 8.
Were you responsible at a very young age?
Yeah. I had a lot of maturing to do, but I was kind of responsible.
Meaning responsible for those kids, too. That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But as
Listen,
I got older,
who's that responsible? I get it. But what I'm trying to say is you were responsible for the younger siblings.
Yeah. I had to look out after them and break up fights and make sure we was all keeping the house clean and a lot of stuff. So I was responsible.
So it's interesting. In the time we have left, I'm curious. The sweet science, right? As it's called. I don't want to get into this too much, but I've seen some video of you fighting. Floyd Mayweather was the greatest at boxing in a way where it was always looked like sideways. It was hard to hit. You are hard to hit.
Yes.
By design.
Yes. Boxing is the art of hitting and not being hit. And I think watching Floyd and Andre Ward, even Pernell Whitaker, Sugar Ray Leonard, watching all them guys and seeing the way that they did it and they get in the ring and they try to hit and not be hit, I try to learn from them. So.
Finally, before I let you out of here, I say Muhammad Ali. You say?
One of the greatest of all time.
Imagine boxing at 220 pounds and being as quick as he was.
I agree.
Okay, if I say float like a butterfly, you say?
Sting like a bee.
Doesn't get old, does it?
No.
Listen, I want to thank you. You are a role model to young men and hopefully women as well. Not just about boxing, about living your dream and going after and working harder than anyone could imagine. And particularly for those of us who are born and raised in the city of Newark, we wish you nothing but the best, not just at the Garden, but in the rest of your career.
I appreciate that, and make sure everybody tune in December 9th. I'm gonna put on the show, I promise y'all.
See, you're learning about promotion, aren't you?
Yeah.
All the best. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
Catch you guys next time. This kid's good.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by NJIT, Holy Name Medical Center in Teaneck, New Jersey, QualCare Inc., New Jersey Sharing Network, the Russell Berry Foundation, Suez, and by NJM Insurance Group. Promotional support provided by NJ.com, Small News, Big News, True Jersey, and by HipNewJersey.com. Live hard, work hard, play hard. You're from New Jersey, and so are we. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
Do you know someone who's done something extraordinary for others, whether a community service or an act of heroism? That person may be a candidate for the Raspberry Award for making a difference. Help us pay it forward by honoring New Jersey's unsung heroes in their efforts to make a difference in the lives of others.
The deadline for nominations is Friday, February 16th.